Well, hello everyone. Tyler Ford here for my monthly home inventory market update. Where each and every month we log into the MLS and we're keeping a track of home inventories. And I think home inventories are the leading indicator. As home inventory goes down, uh, demand over the last 2 years, we've had really low inventory, high demand, which is uh, driven prices up, double digit appreciation rates. And things have definitely started to change. Inventory levels have started to tick up, but they're actually pulling back, which is not good news for buyers. Even though we're more in a buyer friendly market, homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer. Interest rates have dramatically changed, which has put the brakes on this market. But the one thing that we haven't seen is, people, I know there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, especially bears out there, hoping that we get a pullback in terms of home prices. But again, it all goes to supply and demand. And unless we get a huge increase in home inventory levels, I don't see home prices falling dramatically. I do see a pullback. I do see a softening. I do think in 2023, we may end up with negative year over year appreciation. But in terms of this big meltdown pullback, I'm not seeing it unless we get a huge surge in inventory. And one thing I'm going to do a little bit different is I'm going to show you some national home inventory just so you can get a bigger perspective of what's going on. So with that, I'd like to dive into sharing my screen and doing a little bit of housekeeping, talking about interest rates, and then we'll log into the MLS and look at home inventory levels. So I will share my screen. And again, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment. If you're on the live, and at the end, I'll take any questions or comments and do my best to answer any questions that you have. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so first thing I want to start out with is we have had rates. Hold on, let me get rid of this tab. So rates at the high on the 30-year fixed were at about 7%. We have pulled back down to about 6%. And over the last month or so, the Fed's raised again, which is pushed rates up. The numbers that came out in terms of inflation, CPI, that data was stronger than expected. So rates jumped back up a little bit. So right now on a 30-year fixed, we're sitting at 6.5%. And on a 15-year fixed, we're looking at 5.76. And there's what are called buy downs, like 2-1 buy downs. And there's things that you can do as a buyer out there and or even a seller to offer seller concessions in order to buy down rates, in order to make it more affordable for buyers within a period of time. And then down the road, they can certainly refinance. So if you're a seller out there, think about seller concessions. And if you're a buyer out there, think about asking for seller concessions in order to get a buy down in order to lower your rate. The next thing I want to show you, and this is what I have not done in the past, is want to give you a perspective of home inventory levels from a national standpoint. And it has an impact on everybody because somebody could be selling in another city or state and then buying in Tucson, or doing a combination of multiple things. And so you need to get even though, we're looking at Tucson, I like to have the bigger overall picture in terms of the national level, just to get an idea. But back in, 2008, when the market had the major meltdown, there were roughly 4.1 million active listings in the MLS. And in Tucson, we had over 10,000 active listings. So there was a ton of inventory, and that's why prices just came crumbling down. But as you can see right here on this chart, nationally, there's only 970,000 active listings. And I did a little bit of digging too. Of that, there's probably maybe 250,000 under contract. So, I mean, if you really look at this, inventory levels, they're trying to pull just national. And if you look at this trend line here, this is put out by the National Association of Realtors. And again, we're sitting at about 970. In order to get back to an equilibrium, supply and demand, we need to be at about 2 million active listings across the country. So really we need, we need well over 1 million active listings nationally in order to get us back to a normal supply and demand. So with that, the next thing I want to do is we're going to jump into the MLS and look at what's going on here locally. And then we're going to jump on over to an Excel spreadsheet and plug some numbers in. I already did it this morning. We'll see if it changed. So real quickly here, I should have Tucson pulled up here. We're going to log into the MLS, which I am. And we're going to look at active listings. And we're going to look at Tucson. Let me get this up. And if we scroll down, we look at dwelling type. And so we'll start out with single family homes. So right now listed in the MLS for Tucson, all of Tucson, you can see right here, there are 1,188 single family homes listed in the MLS. If we look at townhomes, there are, and you can see the results right there, there's 107 townhomes. If we look at manufactured homes, there are 55 manufactured homes. And then lastly, if we look at condos, there are 99 condos actively listed in the Tucson MLS. We'll jump on over to the Excel spreadsheet. We'll plug in some numbers. So this morning I did it, and that changed by 1. Manufactured homes, there are 55. That's the same. Condos, we've got 99. That went down. A couple went under contract. And then townhomes, 107. That's the same. So right now in the MLS, there are 1,342 active listings in Tucson. Oh, sorry about that. Let me get rid of this. Hold on. You're not seeing the screen. I apologize. Hold on one sec. Huh. Just 1 second. Let me try to fix this here. Huh. There we go. They recently changed a couple things. Yeah, they just changed a couple things on this live where, let me go back and show you the MLS. Hold on one sec. Okay, so here's the MLS. I'm going to run back through it. I wasn't paying attention. I apologize. So single family homes in Tucson, there are 1,188. We got townhomes, 107 right there. You can see it. Manufactured homes, we've got 55. And then lastly, condos, there are 99. So hopefully, let me pull I got to switch this back over. They have changed some things. Huh. Okay, so now you're going to see the Excel spreadsheet. Apologize. They added some clicks in order to share the screen. So now we're on Excel spreadsheet. I've got those numbers plugged in. As you can see here, there are, let me blow this up, get rid of me. So there are 1,342 active listings. Month over month, we're down 248 listings. So inventory levels have gone down month over month. Again, not a good thing for buyers out there, I know. So since I started doing this, the total change is about 40%. We were up to close to 50%. Then the inventory levels have started to pull back slightly. And this right here, if you look at the chart, you can see this gives you a good visual as to what's going on here. And when I started doing this, I had a feel that things were starting to change. The market was starting to change. And sure enough, and then we got a little dip. And part of what's going on here is seasonality within Tucson. So as our weather cools off, winter visitors come back to Tucson, there's a lot more demand. And that demand typically pulls inventory down through the winter months. And then come into May, June, July, August, September, inventory levels start to go back up. So you can see what is going on with inventory levels with this visually. Now what I want to do is jump over to Zillow, and I got to switch this again. I apologize. I'm going to share my screen. I got to click a button. They're making me do something a little bit different. So now what I'm going to do is jump over to Zillow. And in the MLS, what I did is just search by Tucson, but which gives me Tucson. But this search gives Tucson and the surrounding areas, which also gives you a better idea. And percentage-wise, it's about the same. So I've got Tucson right here, and if you look, there's 1,732 active listings. Tucson and the surrounding areas. Write that down. 1,732. And then the other, that is for sale by owner. And one trend that you can start to see as inventory levels go down, for sale by owners go up because it's easier for people to sell on their own. So you typically see in a harder market, FSBOs actually go down just because it's harder to sell. And so as we've had inventory levels go down, there's a little bit more for sale by owners. So now we'll jump back over and plug in that number into Zillow. And I apologize, I got to switch again. So now I'll pull this spreadsheet up and plug in the numbers for Zillow, which I already did. Let me see if they're the same. That changed by 2. So total Tucson and the surrounding areas, there are roughly 2,064 active homes for sale. And that number month over month is down 143 units. The other thing I want to talk about here is I've been tracking the median home sales price. And if you look here in January, the median home sales price was 374,900, and then, or I'm sorry, in January, and then February it was 359,900. So month over month, the median home value pulled back by 4.1%. And you can see here in 2021, and this is just for single family homes. If you look at single family homes, townhomes, condos, everything, we had double digit appreciation, but this is just looking at single family homes. In 2021, we had a 16.8% appreciation. In 2022, we had a 6.8. And so far right now, we're at a negative. So the big question is going to be in 2023, are we going to end up with in the year positive or negative? So I'm kind of thinking that we're going to go sideways, and we might end up possibly negative for 2023. And if you look at this chart here, you can get a pretty good idea in terms of what home values have done over the last couple of years. So we've seen double-digit appreciation rates pull back and sideways, and that's kind of what's going on with our market, but it's good to get a visual of what is going on. So one last thing that I want to share, I'm going to have to change my, I apologize. Is that if you really want to geek out on the numbers and dive deep into each and every month, TAR, the Tucson Association, puts out the market update, and it's really good. And each and every month, I do my market update video, and then I do a blog post. And if you go to that, if you go to Tucson Homes and Lots, and then if you go to my Tucson housing market update, it gives you a run of what's going on in the Tucson housing market. But if you scroll down to the very bottom of the market update that I do, there's a link here that will take you over to the full report. And again, if you really want to dive into the numbers and see what's going on, I would encourage you to head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots and take a look at that. And if you go back to Tucson Homes and Lots, I'll show you an easy way to get there. If you go to my homepage, come on, and scroll down on my homepage, there is a link if it comes up. Well, it is not coming to my homepage. It says market report. So just go to the homepage and you market update. Just click on that and it'll take you right to it. So that's a wrap. I like to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to jump on over, see if we have any comments or questions. So Curtis says, hi. No problem. Glad you're on, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah. So for foreclosures, auctions, things like that, it's not something in the MLS that they show. There's some other data that I could gather in order to include that. So great suggestion. Definitely we'll take a look to see if I can get access to those numbers in order to look at the stats in terms of foreclosures and things like that. So great suggestion. I really appreciate it. So if there's any other questions or comments out there, love to hear your thoughts. And again, like to keep it short and sweet. And each and every month we dive on in, and I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments, this is a live, but it's going to show up on YouTube. You can just comment below and be happy to answer any questions. In the meantime, make it a great day. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.